Imagine a young Greek philosopher sitting under the flickering glow of an oil lamp. His name is Diogenes, a man known for his radical views on human nature. One night, a student asks him, "Master, why do we lust? Why do we desire what we know we shouldn't?" Diogenes smirks. He picks up a fig from the table, takes a bite, and replies, "Because the gods put a curse on us for hunger, not just for food, but for flesh. Lust, it has driven kings to war, monks to madness, and ordinary people into the most irrational decisions of their lives." But what if I told you that lust isn't just a modern struggle? It's been debated, studied, and even feared by ancient civilizations for thousands of years. Stay with me, because today we uncover the dirty secret behind lust, the truth that powerful men have hidden for centuries. For thousands of years, two opposing forces have battled over lust. On one side, the philosophers, monks, and sages preached self-control, claiming that lust is a force that enslaves us. On the other, emperors, warlords, and poets embraced it, seeing it as the ultimate pleasure of existence. The ancient Hindus, in texts like the Upanishads, believed that lust was a dangerous distraction from achieving enlightenment. To them, desire was the rope that tied the soul to the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Meanwhile, in Rome, the elite indulged in lavish orgies and sensual pleasures, believing that life was meant to be enjoyed to its fullest. The Romans had a god, Cupid, who was said to strike people with uncontrollable desire, making them slaves to their urges. So, who was right, the ones who feared lust or the ones who surrendered to it? Let's talk about power. Lust isn't just about sex, it's about control. The ancient rulers understood that if you could control someone's desires, you could control them. Think about the Spartans, a society built on discipline, where boys were stripped of pleasure to make them fierce warriors. They believed that lust weakens men, making them too soft to fight. On the other hand, the Roman emperors used lust as a tool to manipulate people. They encouraged grand feasts, gladiator fights, and sexual excess to keep the masses distracted from the empire's corruption. The poet Juvenal even coined the term bread and circuses, a strategy where the rulers fed the people entertainment and lust so they wouldn't revolt. In short, lust was both a weapon and a weakness. But what about the science of lust? What's really happening inside your brain? Ancient thinkers didn't have MRI machines, but they were surprisingly accurate about how lust hijacks the brain. Lust isn't a choice, it's a chemical reaction. When you see someone attractive, your dopamine levels spike. Dopamine is the same chemical that drives addiction, meaning lust is literally a drug. But here's where it gets darker. Your brain wants more. The more you indulge in lust, the more your brain rewires itself to crave it even more. This is why ancient monks and Stoic philosophers like Seneca warned against lust. Seneca said, "Lust's flame is kindled more easily than it is extinguished." In other words, once you start feeding it, it's almost impossible to stop. But what if we could learn how to control it without becoming monks? Ancient wisdom offers 3 powerful techniques to master lust instead of being controlled by it. The first method was what people these days call the cold shower. The Stoics had a brutal but effective way of controlling lust exposure to discomfort. They believed that if you train yourself to embrace hardship, your desires lose their power over you. Taking cold showers, fasting, and sleeping on the floor were all ways to weaken lust's grip. Modern science backs this up. Cold showers reduce dopamine spikes, helping you control impulses. The second method is the energy redirection technique. The Taoists of ancient China believed that sexual energy was the most powerful force in the body. But instead of suppressing it, they taught men to redirect it into productivity. They practiced semen retention, believing that keeping this energy inside made them stronger, more creative, and more focused. Legendary warriors like samurai also followed this philosophy, avoiding lust before battle to stay sharp. The third technique is the desire observation technique. Buddhist monks taught that instead of fighting lust, you should simply observe it. They called this vipassana meditation. When lust arises, don't act on it, don't suppress it, just watch it like a passing cloud. Over time, your brain learns that lust is just a temporary impulse, not a command. Here's where most people get it wrong. Lust itself isn't evil. The real problem, attachment to lust. Lust only controls you when you believe you must act on it. Ancient warriors, monks, and philosophers all understood that desire isn't the problem, slavery to desire is. The great philosopher Plato once said that the highest form of love, called platonic love, was when you could see beauty, appreciate it, but not be controlled by it. Think about it. What if you could admire someone's beauty without becoming desperate for them? What if you could feel attraction but remain in control? That is the secret that they don't want you to know. The emperors, the corporations, the media, they all thrive on keeping you trapped in lust because a man controlled by lust is a man who can't control himself. Right now, you have a choice. You can either continue letting lust control you, or you can start applying the ancient wisdom that has kept the greatest minds in history free. Will you be a slave to your impulses, or will you master them? The choice is yours.